Yo, what up guys? So today I'm just going to be going over the tier list I made and a link will be below. I think I have one of the best stats right now on any ladder, so I feel like I have pretty good read on the meta. So first up we have 6 Dusk or 4 Dusk, so usually you just play around your chosen tier. So this comp is really the play if you have a Dusk unit that is chosen, otherwise you're probably playing 4 Dusk. So your most important unit in this comp is Riven, and you usually want to have 3 good items on Riven, which includes something like GA, Titans, Declaw, Spark, Death Cap, Blue, and a couple other good like tanky or AP damage items. So this is probably one of the best comps, and it's actually pretty flexible because you could actually usually play 6 cultists in the mid game or 3 cultists early game, and so you have a really good mid game and a really good late game. Next up we have Ashe brawlers, so you can play Ashe here with 4 brawlers, 6 brawlers, and 8 brawlers. And you can end up dropping most of your brawlers late game for additional legendaries. And if you're having a rough game, usually you end up playing 8 brawlers. So in this comp, you just play around whichever chosen you have. So you get like almost any brawler chosen, you can pretty much play it, or you play almost any hunter chosen. So the most important unit in this comp is Ashe, and you must have a QSS pretty much, or else it's gonna be a rough time. And also Giant Slayer, and one more damage item on Ashe is really good. Also Sunfire. Sunfire is like one of the most important items in this comp early game to carry you throughout the game. Next up we have Ahri in Vanguard Mystics. So in this comp, you don't always have to play 4 Vanguards and 4 Mystics. You can always play 2 Mystics or 2 Vanguards. Pretty much you just play around whatever chosen you get, whether it's a Vanguard, like let's say you get a Aatrox Vanguard or you get a Mystic Yuumi, you just play around that and you play 4 Vanguard, 4 Mystic usually pretty easily at 8. And the most important unit in this comp is Ahri. The most important things to have is 2 AP items, and then you need a mana item like Blue Buff or Sojin, and or you can have a GA. Next up in this comp is Shade Spirits. Now this comp is actually super popular in Korea. I think it's just starting to pick up in NA, and this comp is actually really good because 4 Spirits in a lot of comps recently have been really good. So the most important units comp is Zed, because it is a Zed carry comp, and your most important item is RFC. You don't have to hit Z3 in order to top 4. Sometimes you can just hit Z2 and just go 8 or go 9, but it'll be much easier to win the game if you have a Shade. But you can also pick up a Chosen Spirit, as if you only roll for Shade, it'll be hard to hit. Next up is another 4 Spirit comp, but this one is Spirit Moonlight reroll. So if for a chosen play, if you hit a Moonlight, like say you hit like Moonlight Diana or Lissandra or Philios, you end up dropping either Diana or Lissandra. And if you hit a Spirit, you either drop Teemo or Kindred. And your most important item unit is a Philios, and you almost always want to have a GA and a Rage Blade on him. Next up is Enlightened Talon. So you either play 6 Enlightened or 4 Assassins usually, depending on your chosen. So at level 8. So if you hit like Assassin Pike or Assassin Talon, you'll usually end up playing 4 Assassins at 8. And you hit like Enlightened Talon, Enlightened Morgana, Enlightened Janna, you'll end up playing 6 Enlightens at 8. The most important unit in this comp is Talon, and you almost always want to have a Morello on your Morgana. And for Talon, you almost always want to end up having a GA on him and another 2 damage items. Next up is 6 Cultists, and you almost always have to have a Cultist chosen to play this comp. But usually you don't want to end up having 6 Cultists in your endgame comp, because you probably want to end up dropping a couple Cultists, because 3 of these Cultists are really weak later into the game. So you usually want to end up dropping a couple of them and playing a stronger board. Next up is 6 Sharpshooters, and usually you want to have a chosen Sharpshooter, and your most important unit is Jinx. You almost always have to have the 3 perfect items of Sojin, Rage Blade, and QSS on Jinx, because QSS, you don't have that, your Jinx doesn't get Aatrox. You don't have Sojin, the procs aren't go off. You don't have Rage Blade, Jinx is not going to attack fast enough. Next up is Mage reroll. And usually you want to have an early chosen TF or chosen Mage Annie to go this comp. Most important unit in this comp is TF and Annie. The most important item is you want to have usually want to have at least one tier item on TF and at least one rod item on TF, and then you also want to have tanky items on Annie, because if Annie dies, your entire team just collapses. Next up is Diana carry assassin reroll. So in this comp, you usually want an early chosen Diana or Lissandra Moonlight, and level 5, you're ending up going to be playing Cultist plus Diana and Lissandra, and you slowly transition into 4 assassins. And then as you level up, you're gonna be playing like your strongest board, so you can just play like two mystics usually, or something like that, or any 5 costs that you hit later in the game. And your most important items here is IE and Gunblade on Diana, because Gunblades and IE are probably the 2 best items on Diana for solo carry. And the last comp we have here is Lissandra Vanguard reroll. So for this comp, you want to have an early Moonlight Diana or Lissandra. So the most important unit, obviously, Lissandra is the Lissandra carry comp. And you almost always want to have blue buff and 2 ability damage items on Lissandra. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and hope this tier list helped you guys figure out a comp you guys want to play in Set 4.